Day 60. A chapel and a lottery. The Church of St. Francis de Sales, freed from the moral vexations of the Penardi House and the Gardener's Inn, we had to think about a more decorous church for our worship, better suited to our growing needs. The old one, it is true, had been considerably enlarged. It was situated where the superior's refectory is now, but it was uncomfortable on account of its capacity and its lack of height. To enter, one had to go down 2 steps. As a result, in winter, and when it rained, we were flooded out. In summer, the heat and the bad odors suffocated us. Few feast days passed without some pupil fainting and being carried out limp. So it was necessary to start building more proportionate to the number of youngsters, better ventilated and more healthy. Chevalier Blachier drew up plans for what we now know as the Church of St. Francis and the building that stands round the courtyard beside the church. The contractor was Mr. Frederick Boca. When the foundations had been dug, the cornerstone was blessed on 20th July 1851. Chevalier Joseph Cotta placed the stone in position. Canon Moreno, Royal Almoner, blessed it. The renowned Father Barrera, moved by the sight of such a large crowd, stood upon a mound of dirt and improvised a marvelously opportune speech. He began with these exact words: Ladies and gentlemen, the cornerstone which has just been laid in the foundations of this church has a twofold significance. It is like the grain of a mustard seed, destined to grow into a mystical tree in which many boys will find refuge. It symbolizes also that this work is founded on a cornerstone, which is Jesus Christ, against which the enemies of the faith will hurl themselves in vain. Then he proved both points to the great pleasure of his audience, who thought that the equivalent preacher was inspired. Bishop Peter Lozano of Biella realized that the new building and that whole institution especially benefited the bricklayer apprentices from Biella. He sent out a circular letter to his parish priests, encouraging them to help with contributions. The circular read thus: Reverend and dear Father, that devout and outstanding priest, Don Bosco, inspired by truly angelic charity, has undertaken to bring together on feast days as many boys as he meets, abandoned through the squares and the streets of Turin, especially in the densely populated neighborhoods between Borgodora and Martinetto. He has undertaken to provide accommodation for them in a suitable place so that they might enjoy honest recreation as well as Christian instruction and upbringing. Such has been his holy zeal, the existing chapel has become too small for their needs. In fact, it does not accommodate more than a third of the 600 and more boys who now flock there. Driven by love to accomplish so much good, he has set to the arduous task of building a church suited to the needs of his compassionate plan. He is appealing to the charity of the Catholic faithful for help with the much too heavy expenses that are entailed for its completion. Don Bosco can claim help from us, not only in charity but in justice. I ask you, therefore, Reverend Father, to bring this matter of such concern to the attention of your good parishioners, to have recourse to those who are better off, and to set aside on one Sunday to take up a collection of alms for this purpose. The proceeds should be sent securely and without delay to the diocesan curia, making clearly on the packet the amount enclosed, and its place of origin. While the children of darkness endeavor to open a temple in order to teach in their errors for the perdition of their brothers, will the fortunate children of light not open a church in which to teach the truth for their salvation and that of their brothers, and most of all of their fellow citizens? I hope, therefore, to be able to reinforce and help the undertaking of this praiseworthy of God with the offerings that He will provide. Thus, the people of my diocese will give public evidence of their enlightened devotion and gratitude for a work so holy, so useful, and indeed so necessary for our times. I take this opportunity of assuring you again of my great esteem and affection. Your most devoted servant, John Peter, Bishop. For reflection, Don Bosco undertook lofty projects because he constantly felt the assistance of God coming in through persons of goodwill. Are you able to see the intervention of God through persons in your undertakings on behalf of the mission entrusted to you? There is an endless list of individuals who came in contact with Don Bosco, extending their help and resource. There should have been something inspiring about this man and his mission. Is there something about you that inspires people, especially collaborators?